Bonjour, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 79 on YouTube. So, if you made it this far, thank you guys for listening to all the episodes up till now on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you so much. I just want to get on here pretty quickly. Right now, the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs have started, or will start. And I probably should give you some of my predictions for I guess you could say, the first round and what's going to happen in the first round of both the NHL and NBA. And um, let's start with basketball. So let's start with the Eastern Conference playoffs. So we have the number one seed, Milwaukee Bucks, facing off with the number eight seed, Miami Heat. If you've been paying attention to the play-in tournament, the Miami Heat were actually the number seven seed, but they had to win a game against the Atlanta Hawks to maintain their number seven seed. Only what happened was the Atlanta Hawks actually beat the Miami Heat. So the Atlanta Hawks stole the seven seed from the Miami Heat, and so by the Heat's stealing the number seven spot, they now get to face the number two seed, Boston Celtics. But because the Miami Heat, they still need to win one game to make sure they kept at least one of the playoff spots, and the number eight seed was up for grabs. Um, and they get to host the number 10 seeded Chicago Bulls. Game was not close though. So the Miami Heat took care of business and made sure they got a playoff spot, and so they got to take the number eight seed. But of course, with the number eight seed, you have to face the number one seed, the Milwaukee Bucks, which is really no easy task. They actually won a championship, I think, 2 seasons ago. So let's see, Milwaukee Bucks or the Miami Heat. I would say the Milwaukee Bucks will beat the Miami Heat in 4 games. 4 game sweep, 4-0. If I'm thinking of the Boston Celtics, number two seed, and the number seven seed, Atlanta Hawks, I would say Boston Celtics wins that series 4 games to 1 in 5 games. And then we got the three seeded Philadelphia 76ers going head to head with the number six seed Brooklyn Nets. I don't see the Nets winning the game, so I'm thinking the 76ers will beat the Nets 4 games to 0 in 4 games, 4 game sweep. And then we got, I would say, a very competitive four seeded Cleveland Cavaliers and the number five seed New York Knicks. That one I feel is going to go 7 games, won by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, and if I had to pick one who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference, I would say the Milwaukee Bucks will beat the Boston Celtics for the Eastern Conference Championship and go into the NBA Finals. With that being said, in the Western Conference playoffs, we got the number one seed Denver Nuggets. They get to play the number eight seed Minnesota Timberwolves. The Wolves almost stole the Lakers' 7 seed, but the Lakers were able to come back from, I think it was like 13 down, to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Lakers could have won it in regulation, and there was a three-pointer um, shot by Dennis Schroeder, assisted by LeBron James. Kind of spectacular, actually. LeBron James went all the way down to the basket, and he was going to run out of room, so he needed to pass the ball out, and he passed the ball out to Dennis Schroeder, waiting at the three-point line, and Dennis Schroeder hit the three-pointer, and I want to say there was probably 3.1 seconds left, but the shot that was taken by the Minnesota Timberwolves, there was only 0.1 seconds left when the miss had occurred, but what's interesting about this miss was that Anthony Davis from the Lakers actually had fouled the shooter from the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the guy was shooting a 3 pointer, so that means 3 free throws. So, with that being the case, the Timberwolves made all 3 free throws and it forced overtime. But the good thing is the Lakers kept their composure and they won 108-102 in overtime over the eighth place Minnesota Timberwolves. So because of that, the Lakers get to secure their own 7 seed and get to face the number 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies. Should be a good series, but that leaves the Minnesota Timberwolves with one more chance to get into the playoffs. And as the 8th seed, they need to defend that 8th seed from the 10th seeded Oklahoma City Thunder. Game was not close. So with that victory, big victory for the Timberwolves, they were able to secure the 8th seed, didn't lose their spot. Um, but with that being the case, the Wolves are now going to face number 1 seed Denver Nuggets. So if I have to think about it, I think the Nuggets will beat the Wolves 4 games to 2 in 6 games. And I think the Lakers will beat the Memphis Grizzlies in 6 games, 4 games to 2. I would say the 3 seeded Sacramento Kings and the 6 seed Golden State Warriors, your defending NBA champions. Um, I say the Warriors beat the Kings in I want to say 6 games. Could be 7, but no matter what, 6 or 7. I would say Warriors in 7. So 4 games to 3. And then you got the 4 seeded Phoenix Suns and the 5 seeded LA Clippers. That one is going to be an interesting series. I would say it's going to go the full 7 games, and the Clippers will beat the Suns 4 games to 3. So there you have it. And then to come out of the West, ooh man, that's gonna be a tough one. So I'm picking the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Lakers, and Warriors to advance out of the first round. But I would say whoever wins the West would probably be. Mm, hmm. I mean, I'm thinking Nuggets or Lakers. Um, let's just go with the Lakers. Obvious choice, obviously. Um, Lakers versus the Bucks. I like to see that NBA Finals. And it's very possible. The Lakers restructured their team, got rid of Russell Westbrook, and got more players for that same value of Russell Westbrook's contract. And they're all contributors. I think the Lakers got like 5 new players. So they're making it work. And I would think that the Lakers probably will beat the Memphis Grizzlies. They'll beat the Golden State Warriors and outlast I want to say the LA Clippers. I think after all this time, I think the Lakers might have a chance to kind of really outplay the Clippers, but it's going to take almost the entire 7 game series. So, and I would say Lakers beat the Bucks. So I'm a little biased. I don't know how else I would think about it because I want the Lakers to go far, and you're already in the playoffs and you're playing the best team, so you have a kind of a collective roster of great players and you can make it work. So yeah, this would be a fun NBA playoffs, and get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. So, as you may have known, the NHL playoffs is kind of broken down, and I guess it's structured in a divisional playoff format. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. So it's broken into the Atlantic Division playoff and the, I guess you could say the Metropolitan Divisional playoff. So you got the Bruins. They're the number one seed because they actually have the best record. They have the most regular season wins in history, and they have the most points, regular season points total in all of NHL history. And they gotta validate their record-breaking season with the championship, the Stanley Cup. So, in order to get there, the Boston Bruins will have to face the um, see who they're playing. Boston is playing. Um, let's see. Hmm. Okay, I think I got it right. The Boston Bruins will be facing the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers, I think, are one of the two wild cards in the Eastern Conference playoff, and um, I guess the other one would be um, the New York Islanders. That's the other wildcard team. So, so between the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers, I would say the Boston Bruins will beat the Florida Panthers in 5 games, 4 games to one, and then advance to the next round. And then you got the was actually the second seed of the, I guess it's the Atlantic Division. You got the Toronto Maple Leafs, the 2 seed of the Atlantic Divisional Playoff, and the 3 seeded the Tampa Bay Lightning. That one's going to be a good series, but I have a feeling the Toronto Maple Leafs will beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 4 games to 2 in 6 games. And that will set up a Toronto Maple Leafs Boston Bruins second round matchup, and it is for the, I guess it's the Atlantic Divisional Championship. And another matchup in the Eastern Conference. I guess you could call it the Metropolitan Divisional Playoff, unless I'm switching the two by accident. I apologize. But you do have the Carolina, not Carolina, Carolina Hurricanes. They're playing the New York Islanders, I believe, and that one should be a good series. I would say it's going to go 6 games. Carolina Hurricanes will beat the New York Islanders 4 games to 2, and then the other matchup is New Jersey Devils, and they're playing the New York Rangers. I have a feeling the Rangers are going to beat the Devils in 7 games, 4 games to 3. So that's going to set up a matchup between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Rangers. So the winner of those two matches, it'll probably be Boston, although Toronto will probably give them a run for their money. But Boston Bruins will face the Carolina Hurricanes, who I think is going to beat the New York Rangers. And with that being the case, the Boston Bruins will be your representative in the Eastern Conference champion, and they are going to face the Western Conference champion. So let's go through the Western Conference. You got the number one seed in the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights. They have the most points, and they're going to be facing the Seattle. No, they're going to be facing the Winnipeg Jets. That matchup, I could probably see it going 5 games. Vegas Golden Knights will beat the Winnipeg Jets 4 games to 1 in 5 games. And then my favorite matchup, the 2 seeded Edmonton Oilers will be playing the number 3 seed Los Angeles Kings. That one I think will go 7 games, but I think the LA Kings will beat the Oilers 4 games to 3. And that's going to set up a matchup between the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings for the Pacific Divisional title, Pacific Divisional Playoff Championship, and in the Central Divisional Playoff, you got the number 1 seed Colorado Avalanche playing the Seattle Kraken. That's gonna be a tough matchup, but I think it's gonna go 6 games. The Avalanche will beat the Kraken 4 games to 2, and then you got the other matchup is the Dallas Stars. They're gonna be playing against the Nashville Predators, I believe. So I think the Stars will beat the Predators 4 games to 2 in 6 games, and that will set up a matchup between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. That was probably a good series as the Kings and Golden Knights. I think the Avalanche will win against the Stars, and I think the Kings can beat the Golden Knights in 7 games. I think the Avalanche will beat the Stars in 6 games, 4 games to 2. Kings beat the Golden Knights 4 games to 3. Setting up an Avalanche versus Kings Western Conference Final. I think the LA Kings will beat the Colorado Avalanche, dethrone the defending Stanley Cup champions, and it'll be a Boston Bruins versus LA Kings Stanley Cup final. And I have a feeling the Boston Bruins will beat the LA Kings to win the Stanley Cup championship. So yeah, I mean, part of me wanted to think the LA Kings could probably win the Stanley Cup this year, but I have a feeling the Boston Bruins are going to be able to beat the LA Kings in 6 games, 4 games to 2. So those are my picks for the NHL playoffs. You already heard my predictions for the NBA playoffs. So write those picks, watch the games very closely, have fun with them, have some good company, have some good food, and yeah, enjoy this playoff season for basketball and hockey. Next episode, I will talk about 4 comedy shows. One was Big Cheese LLC with headliner Emily Catalano, hosted by Kylie Troop and Natasha Collier. We'll also talk about the Madhouse show with headliner Adam Newman. The host was CJ Price, and your headliner was Adam Newman. And then I went to a Boats and Jokes show hosted by Camille Waters with the headliner Mel Hall. And I went to another Madhouse show with the headliner J. Chris Newberg, and your host again was CJ Price. So that will be episode 80, and I'll talk about all 4 shows, what I thought of it, and stay tuned for that. So remember to like and subscribe this YouTube episode, my channel, Tiggy Maximus Talks. Like and subscribe, and also like and subscribe maybe even make a little donation if you like. My Spotify podcast, same name, Tiggy Maximus Talks, and spread the word. So there you have it, guys, and have a great weekend. Have a fun weekend watching sports and having good food and having some good company. All right, this is Tiggy Maximus signing off. Booyaka!